think that works. Okay. Glad people watching. Thank you. Can you hear me? Hopefully. Jennifer Novick, I'm so excited. Korea, from all over the world. This is very exciting. Yay. Okay. Now, I'm not going to be paying too much attention to the comments that come in on the side because I'll never be able to get through this. But it's great to see you. I'll get started in just a second. Buddy? Buddy? Can you hear my voice through the speaker? Yeah. Okay, great. So I'm going to get started. So, hello everybody. I've never done this Facebook Live thing before, but there's a really important reason I have to do this now. I have to do this concert before my hair gets any longer. So, and we're all at home. So I wanted to share some music, share a little happiness in a difficult time. I hope you are well. I hope your loved ones are well. And if you're struggling through this, hopefully this will give you a little bit of distraction and a little togetherness with everybody else who's stuck in their house. So when I announced that I was going to do a Facebook Live concert, I cavalierly asked for requests. And it's a wonderful thing because some of the requests I got, the very first request I got actually, was for something I don't think I've sung it in 20 years. So since I'm broadcasting from Israel, I'm a singer-songwriter, but I sing lots of other people's music as well. And the fact that these songs written by other people have reverberated so much for my audiences that they remember it after all this time, I was very happy to get this particular request. So this goes out to Joan Weiner-Levin, who I used to work with, who's a stand-up comedian. And she asked for the song by Fred Small, which is called A Modest Proposal. I remember well when I was but a child of tender years, the day that I discovered the catalog from Sears. The people in the pictures, they made me stop and stare. Would have guessed that they'd be dressed in thermal underwear. Underwear, long underwear. It makes the foul first weather feel like fair. It's 10 below and ice icy winds go whistling through the air. Let it storm, I'm toasty warm inside my underwear. Prudence says to set our thermostats at 65. In skimpy briefs and brassiers, you will not survive. The Lord in all her wisdom gave us more than skin and hair. She gave us wit ourselves to fit in thermal underwear. Underwear, long underwear. Beneath our clothes, without it, we are bare. Plutonium is perilous and coal pollutes the air. The energy source that's best, of course, is thermal underwear. Sharansky wears it all the time. Como, he does too. Angela Merkel swears that it's the only thing to do. Lovers, if you think that taking off your clothes is nice, do not miss the greater bliss of taking them off twice. Underwear, long underwear. Slip inside and leave behind your cares. The oil and gas cartels will rant and tear their hair. Who needs them? We've got a friend in thermal underwear. Who needs them? We've got a friend in thermal underwear. Okay, so thanks to everybody who joined us since the beginning of that song. Another request that I got was for a song that I haven't sung in a long time. I'm broadcasting from one of my children's bedrooms. And when I first started as a songwriter, a lot of my songwriting had to do with the fact that we had 4 children very close in age. And it was sometimes a struggle, but they're all wonderful young adults now, actually. But this is a song from way back when. And it was requested, I said I would say, thank you to Kim Glassman and to Sharon Ne'eman, who requested this one. The boy next door's got that gleam in his eye. He never says please. He never asks why. To tell the truth, this guy's stinking with sin. But at the end of every day, my good intentions sizzle away. And I lift my voice and pray that he'll come in. You may think it's his squeaky voice, or maybe it's his hair, or maybe it's his attitude of devil may care. You may think it's his backpack, or the way he parks his bike. But of all his many features, here's the one I really like. I got this bunch of little kids, age 7, 5, and 4. And when that boy comes calling, everyone heads out the door. They follow him like puppies from 3:30 to 5. That little break is all it takes to keep this mom alive. Oh, the boy next door. The boy next door, my children may survive thanks to the boy next door. Well, he's taught him how to sass me. He's taught him how to spit. If he teaches them to shoplift, hell, I may get over it. So what if he's a devil? Who cares if he's a louse? I'll trade my better judgment for some quiet in my house. 'Cause while he's out making trouble for the neighbor's dog and cats, I pour myself a drink and phone my girlfriend for a chat. I complete entire sentences, even a paragraph or two. Let loose with all the cuss words I've held in all afternoon. Oh, the boy next door. The boy next door, my children may survive thanks to the boy next door. Well, the boy next door's a terror. I should be steering clear. But he's like life insurance for those kids I hold so dear. He helps me find my temper and to make it through the day. Don't call me irresponsible. The alternative's impossible. The stage of life is crossable. Thanks to the boy next door, I'll be okay. Oh yeah. So, moving right along. Well, from that set of very old songs from my repertoire, I'm going to move on to something that is really new. And I'm happy to say this song just got its radio debut in Israel last night, actually. So this is a story song. When I'm not singing and doing this kind of stuff, what I do for a living is I'm a science writer. And I work at the Weizmann Institute, where, thank God, they're doing a lot of important research having to do with coronavirus and vaccine development and all the things like that. I'm very proud of what they do, even though I am very far from the office and not allowed to come in. It bothers me. I'm sure it bothers a lot of you, too, to be out of work. But one of the stories that I learned as a science writer was the story of Vera Rubin. Vera Rubin was an astrophysicist, an American, who trained at a time where women were very much discriminated against in the sciences, particularly in physics. But she persevered. And with her research, she was the first to develop the idea, a very central idea in astrophysics called dark matter. The idea that there's some kind of matter out there that makes up about 80% of the known universe, but we just can't detect it. So this song is about Vera Rubin, and it's called More Than Meets the Eye. A 10-year-old astronomer threw off her nighttime covers, tiptoed through her window so she could see the sky. And as winter turned to summer, she watched the constellations spin in orderly procession round the northern stars so high. She built a homemade telescope together with her dad, took astronomy in college, and she was far from done. Left waiting by the mailbox for that catalog from Princeton, the program would not let a woman in till 1971. Looking at the stars, we are looking back in time, a picture from a billion years gone by. Vera Rubin did much more than hold up half the sky, showed us there is so much more out there than meets the eye. She found another program where she gazed up at the galaxies, looking for the secret of the stable life they led. Remembering the counselor who told her back in high school to be ladylike, she might consider painting stars instead. Just weeks after her son was born, an academic conference, cradling her data, her professional debut. She shared her observations and the scorn was universal. The evidence was clear, she was a girl and only 22. It takes a calculating mind to take the measure of the cosmos, a steady sense of self to hunt for what you just suspect. Something out there holding every galaxy together, something out there in the dark that no one could detect. With her dark matter discovery, she made her mark on science, painted a new picture of when the world was new. Vera wrote a book called My Grandmother's an Astronomer, to tell the next child looking at the stars that she could do it too. Looking at the stars, we are looking back in time, a picture from a billion years gone by. Vera Rubin did much more than hold up half the sky, worked the numbers hard enough, called the universe's bluff. She showed us there is so much more out there than meets the eye. Okay, so More Than Meets the Eye, I'll just share this with you, is on my brand new CD, which is going to come out. Well, it's very weird to work with this thing. Anyway, so I made an EP, and as I told you, the song was on the radio in Israel, but I have to give a shout out to the fact that I'm here, not just isolated in my home, but there's a wonderful folk music community here in Israel. But the internet, thank you, internet, allows people like me to get their music out. And I want to thank a great streaming radio show, a station really, called Folk Music Notebook. So if you go to www.folkmusicnotebook.com, they have an app that you can download, and it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, wonderful songwriters. These are the people who give me my inspiration, and I'm very proud to have my songs being played there. So thank you, music director Ron Olesko, if you're listening, and download that app, because it's just, I feel like I'm part of a community. This is why I'm doing this concert, to reach out while we're in isolation. So, okay, so this next song, this goes back to my first recording, which was called Exact Change. And it was requested by a couple of people, which really warms my heart because it's a very personal song. So thank you, Robin Epstein and Myra Bennett. And it's fun to say hi to you guys. And this is my motherhood song, even if they're not this small anymore. It's called Pirate's Bounty. I've never been a swimmer, but the kids are out of school, so I pack them up and drive off to the local swimming pool. They jump into the shallows, bodies flashing in the sun, but soon they're at my deck chair and begging one by one. Ride me on your back so I can sail across the ocean. Lift me up so I can brave the stormy sea. Hold me in your arms and I'm the fiercest pirate captain, and I'll rescue you if you'll believe in me. Now my first grade swimming lessons left a memory blue and cold. Dropped with strangers by the poolside, trying to do what I was told. The teacher saw me waver and kind said, try once more. But no matter how she coaxed me, my feet never left the floor. For 3 whole weeks I faked it and believed that no one saw. 9 fat zeros on my swim card. My mom's silence said it all. I guess she was embarrassed, didn't know quite what to say. But I know that I was thinking of the long ride home that day. Ride me on your back and I can sail across the ocean. Lift me up and I can brave the stormy sea. Hold me in your gaze and I will never more be frightened. And I'll believe in you if you'll believe in me. I walk through the water, feel the warmth of the sun, feel the clutch of their arms that says, I am the one. Once a small, lonely child, now a mother and a wife, looking back, moving forward. It's the journey of my life. Still walking through the shadows, but in a very different way. I stand firm as they float weightless, venturing further every day. The bounty they bestow on me, my glorious pirate crew, is to know I can weigh anchor. I have sailing still to do. Now my little one, sweet breathing, blows a whisper in my ear, and before I feel quite ready, she kicks off and disappears. The bubbles grow more distant till her head breaks through the waves. The jubilant girl overboard that no one had to save. She says, watch me swim, I'll show you how to sail across the ocean. Let me go and I can brave the stormy sea. Held within your love, I learned what freedom's really made of. And I'll teach you if you'll believe in me. And I'll teach you too if you'll believe in me. There. So moving right along, we're back to requests. And I guess it was last year that Dara Williams visited Israel. I went to her concert of this great songwriter, if you haven't heard of her, in Jerusalem. And she played the song that I had been playing for years, but I stopped a long time. I haven't played it in a long time, so I was so pleased to get a request from Rachel Jaskow, who was also a recording artist. She's the woman who created Day of Rest, a beautiful CD of Shabbat Zmirot, the songs that we sing on Shabbat, in magnificent harmony. So she lives here in Jerusalem, and she requested the song, which is by Dara Williams. Tonight was just great. She taught us the sign for peace. Now she's made us some popcorn, we've turned out the lights, and we're watching movies I don't understand, and she tries to explain how a spaceship is riding through somebody's brain, and there's blood and guts and she's the best one that we've ever had. She sits on her hair, and she's tall as my dad, and she tie-dyed my shirt, and she pierced her own ear, and it's peace, man, cool. Have the babysitters here. Her boyfriend is Tom, but we call him the king of romance. He wears an American flag on the butt of his ripped up pants. And will they get married with kids of their own? He says not if she's going to college, we won't. And he kisses her. Oh, someday I'll have a boyfriend just like that. She's the best one that we've ever had. She sits on her hair, and she's tall as my dad, and she got mad at dinner when Tom drank a beer. But peace, now, cool. Hey, the babysitter's here. And we all went to see her go dance at the high school. We made her a big card, and she told us she'd be the unicorn wearing the pink leotard. And there she was leaping up just like she said, with a sparkling heart coming out of her head. And she's, oh, I can't wait to give her the card. I can't wait to give her the card. She's the best one. Well, the play was called The Unicorn, and she was the unicorn. That means the star was my babysitter. Now it's Saturday night, I can't sleep, and we're watching the news. She says, do me a favor, don't go with the guy who would make you choose. And I don't understand, and she tries to explain, and all that mascara runs down in her pain, 'cause she's leaving me. Oh. You're one that we've ever had. You sit on your hair and you're tall as my dad. And I'll make you a picture for college next year. So hush now, peace, man. The babysitter's here. The best babysitter's here. Okay. So, a lot of these songs that I'm doing, I used to be known for singing a lot about little kids, because that's what my life was, you know? And, but this next one, is one of mine. It's from my 2012 release called Voices from the Other Side. And I might as well tell you that if you go to my website, cindycash.com, you can listen to all my music. Voices from the Other Side was produced by David Epstein, who's now living up in Ma'alot. Maybe he's listening. I don't know. But there, if you go there, you can download most of my music. You can buy it. There's no particular price. You can just kind of tip me, which would be nice. But this song from Voices from the Other Side is, of the songs I've written, it's one of my kids' favorite songs. Why? Because it gives the impression that we are sometimes a happy family. That's saying a lot, having been stuck in the house with 2 out of my 4 kids for an entire month. Love you. But still, okay? Sitting down for dinner on a Sunday night, chairs scraping on the floor. Annie and Jamie start to spill their plates while Dave's reaching out for more. The baby's crawling around underneath our feet, let her stay there for a while. Then Bob bursts in, running straight from the gym, and you catch my eye and smile. Sometimes I don't feel old enough to be showing these kids the way they've been keeping me on my toes. I just might take a ballet. The house is a humming with it going and the coming so fast my head's a spin. Still I thank the Lord that the life I've got is the one that you are in. What a road it's been, along the uphills and the downs, through the winding streets. Not a signpost to be found, still we travel on through this life we thought we knew, 'cause we're learning as we go, both me and you. Sometimes I think back to the early days when we started on down the road. We had so little to weigh us down, still we struggled beneath the load. All the wrong turns taken and the dreams forsaken left us wiser for the trials, as we kept our faith in the journey and in each other through the miles. What a road it's been, along the uphills and the downs, through the winding streets. Not a signpost to be found, still we travel on through this life we thought we knew, 'cause we're learning as we go, both me and you. All those good directions never did a bit of good, 'cause we got lost no matter how we tried. I'm not the quickest study, but I finally understood the best path can take you by surprise. You improvise. So as the years go spinning by and we watch our hair turn gray, let this happy home be a beacon for travelers along the way. 'Cause what we've learned as the seasons turn is a simple thing and true, that the joy that's in the journey is in those who walk with you. What a road it's been, along the uphills and the downs, through the winding streets. Not a signpost to be found, still we travel on through this life we thought we knew, 'cause we're learning as we go, both me and you. Ooh, learning as we go, both me and you. All right. Okay, so I want to wish a happy Easter, a little bit late, to all those who celebrate Easter. And we're in the intermediate days of Passover right now, what we call Pesach here. And there's it was a beautiful situation. We are stuck in our homes. One of the things that we do is come together in our synagogue to pray, because the synagogue has been shut because everyone has to maintain social distancing. But I live in a building that has it's a four-story building with a sort of courtyard in the middle. And there's a beautiful thing that's been going on Friday nights, and also what people have been doing is, instead of going to synagogue, there's certain parts of the prayer that you can do together. So people gather at their windows around the courtyard and we sing. So why am I telling you this? Because I got a wonderful request from someone that I met when my husband and I were traveling in the States. Her name is Lynn Barnes. Hi, Lynn. She asked if I can sing something from the Torah, some wisdom from the Torah. And the fact is, there's a song that's taken from something that is sung in synagogues on Passover. It's from the book of the song. It's the whole book of Song of Songs. And this newsflash, this is actually a world premiere, because I've never performed this one before, but I wrote this song based on the Song of Songs. It's not in Hebrew, it's an English translation. So this goes out to Lynn with wishes for a happy Easter and good health. And it's called A Lily in the Field. A lily in the field is my love to me. In endless acres of forest hills, he stands as the fairest apple tree. He stands as the fairest tree. Yes, sometime I stretch me out in his shade. The apples that he gives to me are as sweet as if they were honey made, are as sweet as if honey made. Arise, my fair one, come away, the snow is long past gone. The rain has washed the flowers up, the time of singing has come. A lily in the field is my love to me. In endless acres of forest hills, he stands as the fairest apple tree. He stands as the fairest tree. So I dedicate that also to my husband, Buddy, who I love very much, who's listening downstairs. I kicked everybody out of the room. So I'm going to continue with a song that was, tune up a bit. A song that was the opening track, the first track on Voices from the Other Side, the disc I put out in 2012. And it's a song that I want to dedicate it to my friend who's convalescing from COVID-19 in New York. I hope he's listening. If not, he'll see this on a recording, I think. But Stuart Kabeck, great songwriter. Love him. Anyway, he wrote a song called Mom's Guitar. And with his permission, after hearing that song, if I changed it just a little bit, I could have a song that's very meaningful for my family. This guitar that I play used to belong to my husband's cousin, Gilad Deshe, who was killed on the first day of the Yom Kippur War. And many years later, his mother gave me Gilad's guitar. There are a lot of cousins in my family who are named Gilad. My own youngest son is Gilad. This is not his room, but he is kicked out. Hold on a second. So this is Gilad's guitar with a big kavanah for everybody who's listening, to give a refuah shelema for Chaim ben Charlotte. For everybody should pray for the full health and speedy recovery of Stuart and his wife Margie. Gilad's guitar. First finger, second fret. Listen to the sound you get. He loved me from the day we met. I'm Gilad's guitar. He promised me when we were young I'd be his gift to a cherished one, and now we're here, his will be done. I'm Gilad's guitar. Reminder of the price he paid. I'm handcrafted, tailor-made. I sound better the more I'm played. First finger, second string. Leave the buzz out, make me ring. I know you have a song to sing. I'm Gilad's guitar. The songs he loved will never fade. They live in all the dues we paid. I sound better the more I'm played. And I hope one day, before we're gone, you'll have a child and pass me on. You can introduce me, saying, this was Gilad's guitar. First finger, second fret. Listen to the sound you get. He loved me, I loved him from the day we met. I'm Gilad's guitar. In your hands now. I'm Gilad's guitar. Make us proud. I'm Gilad's guitar. So I also have to say that lots of people requested that song. So if I'm not naming you specifically, don't feel bad. So at this point, I'd like to give a little shout out to my local folk music community. We're little, but we're fierce. And this is a song that was requested by Philippa Bacall, who with other people runs a gathering called the Jerusalem Folk Music Evenings. And it was also by Robin Kunitz Cohen, also asked for it, who's a member of that community. And if we feel like we're living in a strange and unreal world, well, when they say when the going gets tough, the tough go shopping. But we can't. So I'll sing this instead. This is called The Real Thing, a Retail Fantasy. I remember when it happened, I was feeling pretty down. I thought I'd lift my spirits with some shopping in the town. The lights, the noise, the music, and the crush of humankind would all unite to drive the day's disasters from my mind. To get the effect, I chose a huge department store, the kind with festive banners and a glass revolving door. An outstretched hand, a class-wise push, that's all it took for me to join the teeming masses for some retail therapy. I searched through all the clothing, the jewelry, and the rest, but every purchase option seemed to get me more depressed. No matter where I turned and looked, the offering seemed to be designed for someone younger, thinner, wealthier than me. So I gave up, admitted to myself that I'd been beat. But the soda machine called to me as I turned toward the street. A jolt of caffeine, saccharin, and caramel coloring. And hey, the sign assured me that it was the real thing. The coin slipped to the bottom, the drink shot down the hole, but the can slipped through my grasp and on the floor began to roll. I reached out, suddenly I felt I'd slipped into a dream, because that can of Coke, I swear, chugged off on its own steam. It zipped through ladies' lingerie and down the housewares aisle. It hopped the escalator with me following all the while. Although I feared I'd lost my mind, I held tight to the trail as it rolled down a darkened hall beyond a year's end sale. I took a look around just to make sure the coast was clear, then followed down the corridor, my heart pounding with fear. Down at the end, a mirrored wall gleamed dimly in the light. I stared and saw the can roll through that mirror out of sight. I walked up to the mirror and I reached out with my hand. My fingers slipped right through like Alice's in Wonderland. I gulped, then squeezed my hope self through to see what I would find. I found a store, but nothing like the one I'd left behind. The shelves were lined with presents on shining paper wrapped, but as I reached for one, I felt my shoulder being tapped. "This one's for you," the salesman said, "we're really glad you came." He handed me a box, and on the card was my own name. "I'm not quite sure I get it," I said, a little lost. "What exactly is this gift, and how much does it cost?" "It's not for sale," the man replied, "it's meant for you alone. Besides, it makes no sense to buy what you already own." "But what's inside?" I asked the man. He said, "It's hard to tell. You could be a stranger to this gift or know it very well. But if you want to use the gift, there's really just one way. Don't take it home, but leave it here to always give away." He pointed out an empty space upon a nearby shelf. I hesitated, hoping I could keep it for myself. "But surely you have something I can take home from the store. Without something in hand, I'll never know what this was for." The salesman smiled and said to me, "Now, here's the tricky part. You don't need things in hand when you can hold them in your heart. And if you feel you're missing something, well, that may in fact be true. But that empty space feels fuller when you give the gift of you." I knelt and thanked the man and left my box there in the store. And suddenly I found myself in the real world once more. I pushed through that revolving door and strode off through the night. But not before I stopped by that machine and bought a Sprite. Okay, so that's The Real Thing Retail Fantasy is on my disc called A Thing So Real. And I also did a children's disc a long time ago. You see, when my kids were little, they used to perform with me. I didn't force them. I'm not like Mama Rose, even though I'd love to play Mama Rose, of course, everybody knows that. But the the songs that I did when my kids were performing with me, we'd take around. And I remember one of the songs from this disc, which is called Waltzing with Bears. I performed an old Danny Kaye number, The Ugly Duckling. I remember performing this in Netanya at the AACI, the Association for Americans and Canadians in Israel. And I remember a very dear person in the audience, Nomi Cohen, was sitting next to Jack, her husband, and she was singing along, and it was wonderful. Now, Nomi's a lot older now, and she's now needs extra help. But and the thing that's a little sad for a lot of us is that we're separated from our older parents who basically Nomi is in lockdown. So her children can't come to see her because everybody's trying to stay safe and keep everybody separate. So from a distance, I would like to dedicate this song to Nomi Cohen and her daughter Miriam. And this is the sing-along. I'll never know if you sing along, but you'll know. So do it. This is a song by Dale Markston. It's not one of mine. I went to his room in the middle of the night. I tiptoed inside and I turned on the light. But to my dismay, he was nowhere in sight. And I'm sure Uncle Walter went waltzing that night. He goes wah, 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 waltzing with bears. Raggy bears, shaggy bears, baggy bears too. And there's nothing on earth that Uncle Walter won't do. So he can go waltzing, wah, 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 waltzing. So he can go waltzing with bears. Sort of like what we would do to get out of the house, right? We bought Uncle Walter a new suit to wear, but when he comes home it's all covered with hair. And lately I've noticed there's several new tears, and I'm sure Uncle Walter's been waltzing with bears. He goes wah, 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 waltzing with bears. Raggy bears, shaggy bears, baggy bears too. And there's nothing on earth that Uncle Walter won't do. So he can go waltzing, wah, 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 waltzing. So he can go waltzing with bears. I told Uncle Walter that he should be good and do all the things that we said that he should. But I know that he'd rather be off in the wood. And I'm afraid that we'll lose him for good. I begged, I pleaded with Uncle Walter to stay, and I managed to keep him inside for a day. But the bears all barged in, and they took him away. Now he's dancing with pandas, and I can't understand it, but the bears all demand at least one waltz a day. Last time, he goes wah, 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 waltzing with bears. Raggy bears, shaggy bears, baggy bears too. And there's nothing on earth that Uncle Walter won't do. So he can go waltzing, wah, 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 waltzing. So he can go waltzing with bears. I just realized it's not the last. There's another verse. It goes on and on and on. Last night as the moon rose, we crept down the stair. He took me outside where the bears had their lair. We danced in a bear hug with nary a care. It all feels like flying, there is no denying. But now my pajamas are covered with hair. Really the last time. We go wah, 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 waltzing with bears. Raggy bears, shaggy bears, baggy bears too. And there's nothing on earth that Uncle Walter won't do. So he can go waltzing, wah, 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 waltzing. So he can go waltzing with bears. All right. We're getting toward the end here. And at this point, I would like to apologize to some very dear people who sent requests that I couldn't honor. I couldn't do all the songs that got requested. I'm very honored by the fact that you remember the stuff that I sing and you want to hear it again. Maybe we can do this some other time. But here's a song that at least the songwriter was requested by Jeff Green. Okay? So hi there, Jeff Green. And it's a song by this woman I've never met, but I admire her. I love her. I sing her music, and someday we're going to cross paths at a folk festival, and I'm going to embarrass myself completely falling all over myself. But Deirdre Flint wrote this song. teenage years I did all that I should. I listened to my mother and was kind and sweet and good. With all my friends did rituals and I prayed with all my might. This would be the evening that she'd stop along her flight. But that was several years ago, and this chick's long overdue. So it's time I came to terms with something plainly clear to you. The Boop Fairy never came for me. No, the Boop Fairy never came for me. Look, I'm spunky, and I'm cute, and I got a great personality. But the Boop Fairy never came for me. Well, we were the third house down a country drive. I thought maybe she just got lost. So I hung my bra on the mailbox until a neighbor took it off. And all my friends got visits and expanded through the years, and left me railing to the gods, buying training bras at Sears. But still I harbor hopes she'll come for me. I know she will. I'd get 'em done myself if she'd agree to foot the bill. The Boop Fairy never came for me. No, the Boop Fairy never came for me. Look, I wasn't wanting melons, just a cute, curvaceous bee. But the Boop Fairy never came for me. This isn't a song about boobs. Not really. The boobs are just a set of metaphors for everyone's fear of human inadequacy. Hey, we've all known the pain of being dissed by some fairy or other. So when the chorus comes round, I want you to sing out about your own fairy who never paid a call. Maybe it was the height fairy or the butt nymph. Men, maybe it was the pectoral or the hair fairy. Or maybe some other fairy you just want to mumble about. Listen, no one's going to ask you to enunciate. And sisters, I don't want you feeling alienated now just because you happen to be full-figured. Just change the line to, the Boop Fairy wouldn't let me be, or the Boop Fairy became obsessed with me. Okay, here comes the chorus. Everybody join in. The Boop Fairy never came for me. Ladies of Miami, the Boop Fairy never came for me. Though the Hip Fairy came 2 times, and the Thigh Fairy came 3. The Boop Fairy never came for me. The Boop Fairy never came for me. Deirdre Flint. Okay. So, for my very last song, because I just have to. But I am delighted to fulfill a request of a lot of people, but particularly Judy Tell, who's the fiddle player in the Hazel Hill String Band, which is a string band that runs all the contra dancing that happens in Jerusalem. See, we're little, but we're fierce. There's great stuff going on here. But it was also a special request of how many of you are home stuck with children who are pretending to be going to school, and you're pretending to supervise them, pretending going to school. Or maybe you're a teacher doing yeoman's work. I so appreciate you guys, but I'm so glad my kids are out of school, because how could you do it? But anyway, so there is a legendary homeschooling family, the Trachtmans, who requested this song. And they do this stuff, I mean, not because of coronavirus, but they educated their children by themselves. And I know a lot of them, and they're all booba, as we say. So my experience as a parent was not quite so productive or serene. And this is, actually, it's a chance before I sing to, again, I'm so grateful for my opportunity to be in touch through the World Internet Folk Community, because I learned this song from Kathy Fink and Marcy Markser, who came to Israel to perform at the Jacob's Ladder Folk Festival and stayed at my house. And they recorded this song, which is by a wonderful couple from Wisconsin named Lou and Peter Berryman. give everybody credit because they deserve it. So here's the song. This is what it used to look like in my house if somebody called me on the phone between about the hours of 6 and 8 in the evening. Hello, Johnny, this is me. Say I found a recipe for orange cocoa cake. So, Johnny, get a pen so quick, because can you believe I'm by myself? How's it work? The kids are out there playing house, so 3 of them, they're all out on the deck. 1/2 cup of sweetened cocoa, 1/2 cup of boiling water, 1/4 cup of butter, and 1/4 cup of shortening, 2 cups sugar, 1 teaspoon salt, teaspoon of vanilla, 1 1/2 teaspoon baking soda. Excuse me just a sec. Dave, dear, I'm right over here. Would you like some crackers and bologna? Are you having fun? Don't get too much sun. Please excuse me while I talk to Joni. 2 eggs, Joni. David, crackers, dear, not malted milk balls. In the cupboard, Joni. 1 cup buttermilk or sour milk. 1 3/4 cups unsifted bologna. In the fridge, unsifted general purpose. David, did you really check? 1 3/4 cups unsifted general purpose flour, Joni. There, I finally got it out. Okay, David, malted milk balls, only 5, 3/4 teaspoon grated orange peel, 1/4 teaspoon orange extract. Excuse me just a sec. Liz, Ben, I'm here in the den. Would you like some crackers and bologna? Are you having fun? Don't get too much sun. Please excuse me while I talk to Joni. Joni, 1 more 1/8 teaspoon of Lizzie. What's the matter, dear? Baking soda, Joni. Lizzie, don't hit Benji. That's uncalled for. That's okay then, Joni. 1 more tablespoon of buttermilk or sour milk. Oh, come here, Liz. What's that on your neck? Now don't worry, Liz, it's only 1 real tiny tick. Someone, David, go and get the tweezers. Joni, maybe in the bathroom. Joni, maybe we should bend. Don't cry out. 1 more malted milk ball. Lizzie, Mom will be right there. Excuse me just a sec. Really gotta go, Joan. See about a tick for Joni. Have a party with the neighborhood kids. And Lizzie has to get to an appointment at 11. And I'm taking David too because he has to buy a costume. He's in a play tomorrow over at the shore. Isn't it tomorrow? Benji, where'd you go? If it isn't, then remind me what's your costume for tomorrow. I remember now, Hamantash. Lizzie can't go. There's a party in the park for all the people with pets. Well, you know she's gotta go to that. And then we'll have to dinner and the kitty in the Chevy. After that, we'll have to eat dinner over with the big boy. Gotta go, Joan. By the way, did you ever reconsider getting married, having children of your own? Turn the television down. Your mother's on the telephone. Call me back, Joan. Toodaloo. Toodaloo, everybody. Stay safe. Stay home. Thanks for coming. Bye-bye.